Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started, everybody. I want to thank you, first of all, for being here. My name's Tim Denbo. I'm the President and CEO of Virtual Tour Cafe. Again, thank you very much to all of our Space Coast members and Brevard MLS members to be here today. I want to give you just a little outline of what we're going to do. We're going to start as if you are just logging in for the first time, and we'll create your agent and company profile, and then we'll create a virtual tour, show you how to not only create the virtual tour e-flyer and YouTube video and distribute it to just dozens and dozens of places. So we're going to go ahead and get started here in just a moment. I do want to give you just a couple of heads up. The webinar will last approximately 1 hour. We'll hold questions, if you would please, until the end, and we will give you some time for some questions and answers at the end. But I also want you to be aware that you can email us or call us anytime. You can email support@virtualtourcafe.com. You can email me personally, tim@virtualtourcafe.com, and you can also call us at 877-744-8285. Now, joining us here today is my partner and Vice President of Operations, Hanale Rentaturi. She's going to be here to keep me on track, make sure I don't forget anything real important for you folks. So just want to introduce Hanale, and Hanale, go ahead and say hello to everybody.
Yes, I would like to say hello to everybody, and I also like to wish you Happy New Year because we are still kind of starting in January.
Terrific. Thank you, Hanale. And Hanale will be here, like I said, to help keep us on track if there's anything I forget, which I sometimes do. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. And again, please hold your questions until the end, and we'll go ahead and give you some time to answer those questions, as well as please feel free to email those questions after the webinar as well, or give us a call. So starting off, I want to just direct you in how you can sign up for Virtual Tour Cafe if you have not already. So Virtual Tour Cafe was selected by the Space Coast Association as a member benefit product. As being such, you can go into your Flex MLS and you can choose under Products, Virtual Tour Cafe. There is no charge to you as a member, and you will have full access to our program as if you were an unlimited platinum subscriber, meaning that you can use all the virtual tours you want to. There's no limit. As many virtual tours, e-flyers, and videos as you would like. Now, also be aware that if you don't have any listings currently, that Virtual Tour Cafe can be used as a marketing tool if you want to create a marketing virtual tour, if you want to create a video to get out there on YouTube. So there's a lot of things you can do with Virtual Tour Cafe in addition to just creating virtual tours for listings. Okay? This screen, Welcome Kevin Fox, is the way you would see your screen when you log in for the first time. If you look on the top of the screen, you'll see that there's some tabs across the top. These are your different screens that you can go to. Down below the Welcome Kevin Fox, you'll see a Getting Started. I'd encourage you when you first get logged in to go to the Getting Started and watch the intro webinar or intro video that will walk you through step-by-step how to create a virtual tour. Also, in your welcome email, you will see a link to a YouTube video for a Getting Started video as well that's specific to the Space Coast Association, because there are a few differences from our outside of Space Coast for other customers. Virtual Tour Cafe has what's called a RETS feed and an SSO, meaning that you can sign on automatically through the Space Coast Association and you can pull your data automatically from your listings. So it makes it a lot easier for you as well. So welcome again. Going to take you through the first step of creating an image set and managing your image sets as well. But before we do that, I want to take you into how to set up for the first time your agent info and your company info. If you see down below the first step and down below the advanced settings, there are two, so to speak, little identification cards that say agent info and company info. The first thing you want to do is you want to add your agent picture and your company information here. So we're going to go ahead and click on Kevin Fox. We're just using that name here for this demonstration purposes. And we're going to browse for our picture of Kevin, and we'll go ahead and find the folder where that picture is located. Now, on your computer, you may have it in your pictures folder, you may have it on your desktop, wherever it is that you have that particular folder or where you have that picture, you'll want to find that picture and then bring in that picture as your profile picture. Now notice when I choose my picture, it doesn't change the silhouette, the screen here, until I update it. Now below the picture is the license number, your first name, last name, your username, your password. You can change that anytime. However, keep in mind, as a Space Coast Association or a Brevard MLS Association member, you don't even need to remember your password because you can log in directly. You just go back to your products, choose Virtual Tour Cafe, and it'll take you in without having to remember any password or username. Be sure your email is set correctly, your mobile phone, any agent profile information you want to put in here, the credentials such as broker, ePro, GRI, anything of that nature. And then down below that, you'll see where it says My Cafe Gallery. Now, this is a web page that we create automatically for you with your name on the end of it that will link to all of your virtual tours in one place. So when you start creating 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 50 virtual tours, even after they're sold and you mark them as sold or they're marked automatically by the connection to your MLS, those will show up in your URL page, this link that has all your virtual tours in one place. You can also put a button like this on your website if you want to, as well as several other ways of integrating Virtual Tour Cafe and your virtual tours into your website. When you're done making your changes to your profile, click on Save. That's going to save the picture, so just as easy as that to update your profile. Now, when you're in your agent profile, you'll see a menu over on the right-hand side. These are your settings menu. The preferences, the agent profile, the default email and phone options, all of these things can be set up as your defaults. Now we're going to go into company information by clicking here. And in the company information, this is where we can add our own company logo, we can add a company banner, and we can add all of our company information. Keep in mind, this is a one-time deal. You don't have to do this every time you create a virtual tour. What I'm walking you through right now is how to set up your agent profile, your company profile for the first time, and you don't need to do it again unless you have a change to your agent profile, you change companies, or you have a new phone number, or your email changes, anything like that. So we're going to set this all up. I'm going to show you how to then create a virtual tour e-flyer and video. In about 15 minutes it'll take you. Obviously here, since we're walking you through all the steps, it's going to take us about an hour, including all the questions and everything else. So we're going to browse for our company logo. We'll just choose a logo. We'll choose a banner. Now on the drop-down menu in the banners, you can choose from, if you're a member of all of these different brokerages, you can choose from these brokerages and you can add your banner. If you're not a member of one of these brokerages, very simple, you can browse and upload your own banner. Now our banner optimum size is 90 pixel by 870 pixel. Now if that doesn't make any sense to you, which I don't blame you, it is approximately 9 inches by 1 inch. So that's the size of the banner. If you need us to help you with a banner, if you have a company banner that you'd like us to resize or help you with, please just email us and let us know, and we'll be happy to help you with that. But you can upload your own banner and fill out your company information, office phone, fax, website. Be sure to put your website in here because the banner will link to your website, giving you some good linking and SEO, search engine optimization for your website. So be sure to put your website in. If you have a fax number, office number, all of that information, and simply save on the bottom of the screen. Anytime we're wanting to go back to the beginning where we started from, we can always go up to the top of the screen and click on the gold Virtual Tour Cafe logo in the top left-hand corner of the screen. And I just want to show you how that takes you back to the starting place where we were in the beginning. Now notice we've put in the profile picture, we've put in the logo, we've already chosen the banner, but let's say that we also want to choose what our theme is or how the tours are going to look, the color scheme for our tours, so that we don't have to mess around with it later on. Once you set those settings, the default settings, you can just leave them and not worry about them, and then that'll make your creating of virtual tours and your marketing so much easier. So we're going to go up to the Settings tab in the top right-hand corner of the screen and click on Settings. When you do that, it's going to take you into what's called the Preferences or the default image settings. Now notice that you can change the brightness, the contrast, the saturation, the color balance as a default for all of your pictures. So let's say that you just regularly use your cell phone or you're using a camera and the interior lighting is always a little dark. You can set this to a little bit brighter and it'll automatically adjust your pictures every time you load your pictures in. Now, I would just leave those as they are as a default unless you need to make changes once you see how your pictures look, because you can also change individual pictures one by one with our system. One of the nice things about Virtual Tour Cafe is that you can very easily, quickly create a virtual tour, e-flyer, and video, get it uploaded to Trulia and Zillow and Homes and Realtor.com and to your MLS and all those places in a very short time. And you can also optionally make a lot of changes to your virtual tour and customize it if you want to. We like to say Virtual Tour Cafe is real estate marketing done your way. So there's a lot of changes that you can make. Now I'm going to set what's called, speaking of changes, the theme. Now if you look about 2/3 the way down on this settings menu, there's a themes default. There's also background music defaults and a lot of other things here, such as YouTube channel if you want to add your own YouTube channel. You don't have to, but these are things you can do. So I'm going to go into themes default, and you'll notice that there are about 24, a little over 24 themes that you can choose from. Now I want to make a point here with these themes because a lot of them have a brokerage name on them. Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Remax, Prudential, Century 21. These are simply color themes. You do not need to be a member of Keller Williams in order to use this theme. If you want to use the Keller Williams theme, feel free to. It's a color scheme. It will not show the Keller Williams banner. It will show your banner that you have or no banner at all. Now, the two exceptions to this rule are Century 21 and Remax. The Remax has the Remax balloon in the background, and the Century 21 has the Century 21 logo in the background of the tour theme itself. So be sure, unless you're a member of the Century 21 team or Remax, don't use those, use any others. So again, if I'm a member of Alon Pinnell, but I want to use the Windermere, I can use that. So don't worry about what the name is. You think of them as simply color schemes. Now I'm going to go ahead, since this one we're using the Alon Pinnell, I'm going to go ahead and use that brokerage theme, and I like that black and gold anyway, so I'm going to choose that one. Now, if you look here in the top of the screen, these are the tour themes. Above that are the flyer themes. So you can have a different flyer theme than your tour theme. However, in this case, I'm going to use the same. So I'm going to go to the Alon Pinnell, I'm going to choose that, and I'm going to click on Save. Now our tour and our flyer theme are set. We don't have to worry about them in the future. Every time we create a tour, it'll automatically use those themes. If you'd like, you can also change your background music right here before you even get started by going into background music, and you can choose which background music. There's over 50 different options that you can choose from. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on the above and beyond. I'm going to click on Save, and I'm going to take us back to the opening screen. So this is, we call it the My Cafe, or the starting place. Now we've completed setting up our agent profile and our company information. Now what we're going to do is actually get into the meat of it and create a virtual tour, e-flyer and video, and get it distributed, or act like we're getting it distributed. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is right here in the middle of the screen, create image set. When you click on Create Image Set, it's going to bring up this screen where you can select your images to upload. You can go to the Browse button here, and you can upload your own images from your computer if you wish to. However, be aware that if you've already put the pictures into your MLS, as a member of the Space Coast and Brevard MLS associations, you are allowed unlimited high-res images. So if you're uploading high-res images to your MLS, our system will go ahead and pick those up for you by simply going to the Import MLS Data and Images. Now, maybe this is a listing that you haven't completed yet. Maybe you haven't entered it into the MLS. Maybe you want to do a coming soon. You can do that by browsing for your images on your computer and bringing all those images in here instead of importing from the MLS if you haven't created it on the MLS yet. I'm going to walk you through the quick and easy Import MLS Data and Images. Simply click on that. It's going to bring up this pop-up screen where you can enter your MLS ID number, and I'm just going to use one here. And it's for sale. Now notice under the status that you do have a lot of options such as coming soon. And remember that I mentioned even if you don't have a listing, you can do, now here we don't have a choice you can do a community, but it's not going to be able to pull it because it's not on your MLS. But when you create a virtual tour and you're not pulling in the MLS data, you can also create a community or a miscellaneous or a personal virtual tour, and you can market yourself by showing pictures of the community and showing images that represent what you're going to do for your next client, and you can actually use Virtual Tour Cafe as a marketing tool as well. This particular property is a for sale, so we're going to choose that. We're going to select the property type here, and this, you do have all of the different property types: condo, townhouse, co-ops, apartments, multifamily, all the way to commercial, houseboats, duplexes, triplexes, etc. So we're going to choose single family home, and the caption is the title that will show up for people. Also, it is a searchable title when you when somebody is looking for homes in Brevard County or on Merritt Island, etc., you can use that in the title itself. Click on Submit. What it's doing right now is it's actually going out to the MLS. It's looking for the pictures and the information, and just that quickly, we were able to bring in, let's see how many there are here, 15 pictures, and it's already brought in all the property information for this property as well. At this point, you would almost be done with this unless you want to make changes. And we're going to make some of those changes, and I'm going to show you how to do those things here. But be aware that at this point, you've already brought in the pictures, you've brought in the information. You could actually move from this step and post the tour and distribute it, and you'd be done. But there's some things that you may want to do, and I'm going to walk you through how to do some of those things. Let's say that you don't like the order of the pictures that they're in right now, and you want to rearrange the order. Let's say I want to move this number 3 to number 2. I'm going to drag this picture over, and I'm going to move it into the number 2 position. If I want to move this number 6 over to the number 4 position, I can drag it over here and drop it. So it's as simple as drag and drop, just like if you've ever played solitaire, moving the cards around on the screen. It's just as simple as that. So simply drag and drop the images, move them where you want them to be. I like this picture of the pool. I'm going to move it up to the 2nd position right there. Now notice underneath each picture there's a file name. Now those are the names of the pictures that were brought in from the MLS. Now you can leave that, but that is going to be seen by the potential customer and your buyers that are looking at this virtual tour. You can either simply erase it and go to the next one and erase it. And the way I'm doing that is simply clicking my tab key, going to the next picture, and pressing the backspace key to erase what is there. You can also click on each one by one, and you can use your mouse to highlight and then backspace or delete to erase that information. Now I prefer to have a title or some information about the property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in this bar right here below the picture, a title that I want people to be able to see when they look at that picture. As you can see, you simply type the title of that picture or the caption of that picture and keep going on to the next image. Once you're done with that, simply click on the save right above the first picture, or you can click on Update All Captions that's bold over on the right-hand side. That's so you don't forget. If you type these titles and you go onto a different screen, you leave this screen and go to flyers or tours or videos, it will not save what you've done unless you click on the save. So be sure to click on save or update all captions. Either of those will do the same thing. Now that we've rearranged the pictures, we've got them in the order that we want them, we've added the titles that we want to the pictures, we're going to go to property information. Over on the right-hand side, right underneath update all captions, click on property information. Notice that our title is already here. It's already brought in the description of the property from the MLS listing. It's already populated the number of bedrooms, the bathrooms, the year built, the square footage, the lot size, the MLS number, the price of this home, $2.6 million. It gives the address, 120 Honeymoon Hill Lane, unit number 0, single family home, for sale. This is where under status that you can change it to sold once you've sold the property, or contingent or pending, etc. Now this should automatically be done for you though when you change it on your MLS. That's one of the benefits of being in the association and having this connection, is we automatically pull this information and update this several times a day. So it won't happen instantaneously when you make that change, but it happens several times a day. Okay, so this information is automatically populated. However, if you want to change any of it, if you want to add some additional pricing information, owner will carry, probably not in this market, but maybe in another market. You can add if you have garage size, if you have school district, anything else that you would like to add. If you want to add or remove anything from the description or the title, you can do that here. Now, notice on the bottom of the screen, below the location information, there's a couple of things I want to point out to you. First of all, these last 4 fields, neighborhood, latitude, longitude, area, schools, link. These are all optional. Notice there's no red asterisk next to them that says that they're required. The neighborhood is simply that. If you have a neighborhood name that would be recognized by people, go ahead and put that in there. Latitude and longitude is only there for your convenience if you have a lot or a property that does not have a physical address. If you have the latitude and longitude, Google Maps in our system will find the property and show people where it is. So that's only for those rare situations where you don't have a physical address that can be found on Google Maps. Area schools link. This is done automatically for you. You don't need to put anything in here. This is mainly for our Canadian customers that don't use the American school link that we automatically use to identify your property and where the local schools are around that. So unless you have a specific school link that you want to add yourself, you can leave that blank and the area schools will be filled in for you automatically, the link for that. Now below that, documents and forms. This is something that is unique to Virtual Tour Cafe. You can add documents and forms with lead capture, and this will help if you want to get more lead capture from your virtual tours. By default, lead capture is set to yes or on. Now these are toggle switches. You can turn it off if you don't want to have lead capture. What lead capture means is if I put in a name here, such as neighborhood news, and then if I browse and I find the file, so if I've got something from the Chamber of Commerce, maybe you've got a flyer, maybe you've got a market report, you could put local market statistics, anything there, find that file on your computer. It can be a PDF file, it can be a Word file, an Excel file, any type of file like that, any common file, and you can add that file here, and when people want to download that file, it'll ask them for their email and their name before they can download the file. Now, if you have something like disclosures and you add your disclosures, you browse on your computer and you find that file and you add that file, then you may want to add a password. Notice that it says optional. If you add a password, it can be anything you want, 1, 2, 3, ABC. You can make it as difficult or as easy as you want it to be. And anytime you add a password, when somebody wants to download that file, they're going to be told that they need to contact you first in order to get the password. So that's extra security if you want to be able to have documents with security. Otherwise, I would recommend that you just leave no password, leave it with lead capture on, and they're going to be asked to put in their email and their name before they can download that document. And our system will automatically email you and tell you the name of the person and that that person has downloaded that particular document, and it'll tell you what document. Once we've set this up, we can click on Save, and it saves our information. Now, we could just keep typing and keep making changes and just have it saved at this point, or if we're done with this screen, we can click on the X in the top right-hand corner. Now, I also want to point out to you at this point that there is what's called context-sensitive help in many different screens that you'll be in Virtual Tour Cafe. If you're not sure what to do on this particular screen and you see a question mark in the top right-hand corner typically, just click on that question mark and it will pop up a help screen that will give you some information about what to do on this screen. Then simply close that screen when you're done with that help, and when you're done with this screen, click on the X in the top right corner. That's it for property information. Let's go to the amenities. Now again, amenities are going to be pulled. What is recognized by our system is going to be pulled automatically. Now it may not recognize everything because it may be a slightly different term or a slightly different name, and it doesn't recognize that, or it may not be in the MLS, so you can make your changes here on the amenities screen. They're all toggle switches. If there's a sink disposal, simply click on the no to turn it to yes. It's a toggle switch on and off. If there's a washer dryer included, click on that button and now it'll show that as an amenity included with this property. We break it down into 4 different sections: appliances, interior amenities, exterior amenities, and community amenities. So if this is a hill mountain view, you can click on that on the exterior. If there's sprinklers, if there's a swimming pool, all of these things that you may want to add, you simply click on them. Now, if you don't see an amenity and you want to add it yourself, you can add that just like this eat-in kitchen. When you see a little red X next to it, you'll notice that that's one that you've added yourself. When you add an amenity, it will be there for the next time so that you can use it again on your next listing. And you simply type in the name of the amenity you want, click on Add underneath whichever particular category: exterior, interior, community, etc. So when you finish those, you'll simply click on Save, and you've saved your amenities. Again, notice there's a context-sensitive help here, and we can close this screen by clicking on the X in the right-hand corner. Now, we've done everything we need to at this point. We've checked our property information to make sure everything got pulled in correctly. We've checked our amenities, added anything we wanted to, maybe remove something if you need to. We've rearranged the pictures. We've changed titles. We've added titles. We are really ready at this point to see what the tour looks like and make any final changes to that. And I'll show you how to do that and distribute the tour, and I'll show you how to do those things right now. So notice we're on the Image Sets tab. If I click on Image Sets again, you'll see that here's where all of your image sets are. The image sets are your properties. So when you've created a virtual tour property in Virtual Tour Cafe, it'll create an image set for that particular property. The image set is where you're going to make changes such as adding pictures, deleting pictures, adding property information, etc. And when you want to make a change to your image set, you simply come back to this image set screen, click on the image set, and click on Edit Selected Image Set. Notice you can also delete an image set over on the right here, and there are some other options such as Distribute and Service Links that we'll go over here in just a few minutes. Notice underneath the main picture in this image set, there is an active toggle switch that says No right now. We want to turn that to Yes, and what that does is it activates this tour so that we can view the tour, and we can send the tour link to our clients if we want them to see it. We can send it to potential buyers, but it doesn't actually distribute the tour until we take additional action. So be aware, by toggling this switch to active, it doesn't publicly send the tour out until you tell it to. But it does allow us to view the tour and to do some other things that I want to show you on this demonstration here today. Next step is we're going to go to the Tours tab. On the Tours tab, notice there's 3 tabs here: Tours, Flyers, Videos. And if you click on each one, you'll notice that they all look basically the same. The big difference is you can change which images and make some slight minor control differences for each one of these. For instance, if I don't want all of the pictures showing up on the flyer, I can choose which ones I want. Right now, I want to show you the tour and how we're going to finish the tour and distribute the tour. So here's our tour that we just created on the far left side here, and I can simply click on it. That highlights that tour as the one that we're working with, and over on the right-hand side, we can click on View Selected Tour. When we click on View Selected Tour, it's going to bring up that tour, and you'll be able to see what that tour looks like. Notice that our banner has been added. We've got our agent picture. We've got all of our menus across the bottom. Everything's been done for us, and we're ready to distribute this tour. I want to point out under the contact information that your agent information is here, as well as in the top right-hand corner, so that people can contact you directly simply by clicking on your phone number. If you have that here, they can click on your email and send you an email. They can also go to the contact agent, and the contact agent will allow them to send an email directly to you. And My Listings. Your listings, or My Listings, for this particular agent is going to show all of your virtual tours in one place on that page I was telling you about, where it's a URL that displays all your virtual tours in one location. So this is the only virtual tour that I have active right now, so this URL is just going to simply show this one tour. Now, I know it's probably hard to hear me with the music playing, so I'm going to go ahead and close this here. But I do want you to see that on the bottom of the virtual tour is a gallery where people can look at the individual images one by one. They can scroll through the different images, or they can watch the virtual tour where it automatically goes from image to image to image and uses what's called Ken Burns effect, where it adds the transition of zooming in, zooming out, moving left, moving right. That's all done automatically, but you have control over changing that. So if you want to change any particular image to move left instead of right, to move right instead of left, to zoom in instead of zoom out, or to simply have no effects whatsoever and go slide by slide, you can do that as well. You have a lot of control. The Details menu has the property information, the amenities for the property, and a printable flyer. When we click on the printable flyer, I'll show you what that flyer looks like. Here's our flyer that we've created, and it gives all the information about the property, your contact information, a photo gallery on the bottom, and they can even view a slideshow or click on a QR code that's automatically included in the flyer for your prospective buyers to view. So I'll go ahead and close that screen, and I'll go ahead and close this virtual tour. We'll come back and look at that a little bit later if we need to show you some more things there. I want to walk you through some of the final steps to make sure that we get time to cover everything here today. So be aware that we don't have time to show you everything. There's quite a few advanced features, but today what I want to do is make sure that you get an idea of how to log in, how to create your agent and your company profile, how to create a virtual tour and distribute it in about 15 minutes once you're doing it on your own, especially after you've done one or two. It'll take you real quick to be able to do that. Now, we've viewed the virtual tour, but we haven't distributed it. The way we'll do that is we'll go back to the Image Sets tab. We'll click once on the image set that we want to distribute, or the property, and over on the right-hand side, you'll see the Distribute menu. Click on the Distribute menu, and the very first option is Distribute Tour. When you click on that, it's going to bring up a pop-up screen giving you an idea of places that this is going to be sent to. Now, it will depend on your particular property and the location, etc., as to where it gets distributed to, but we distribute to all the different sites, and then hopefully they pick it up. Not everywhere will pick it up if you are not a member, for instance, to homes.com, but Trulia, Zillow, HotPads, we're direct distributors to all of these, and then it'll also get redistributed from there out to many other places, such as the Oodle and the Vast and the Home Seekers, etc., etc. So you can click on the distribute menu. That's a toggle switch right there. All you do is click on yes. It'll distribute the tour automatically for you. There's nothing else you need to do. It'll give you just that little tour is marked for distribution, but I'm going to go back in there and I'm going to turn that to no, because we don't want to distribute this tour. It's not our listing and we don't have a real agent's information here. So I'm going to turn it back to off. The next one is add virtual tour to listing. Now that's a link that's going to send the virtual tour to your listing on Space Coast or the Flex MLS. However, please be aware right now we have a problem with that and we're working on that issue, and it should be resolved here very quickly. Today you will need to copy and paste your link to your MLS, but very shortly here that will be working again and it'll be able to distribute the tour to your MLS automatically by clicking on that add virtual tour to your listing. Post to Realtor is posting to Realtor.com. If you are a showcase member with Realtor.com, we have no additional fee that is added on. You simply click on Post to Realtor and it will send your virtual tour to Realtor.com and connect it to your listing. You do have to have your listing on Realtor.com, which normally would be done through your MLS. So as long as it finds your listing, it's going to post the virtual tour to your listing. Now, if you're not a showcase member with Realtor.com, there is a fee that we have to pass on to Realtor.com. We don't have any option in that. It's a fee that's required by Realtor.com. So if you're a showcase member, there is no fee. If you're not a showcase member, when you click on that, it's going to pop up a payment screen. If you fill out the payment screen and pay that, there is no way to cancel that. It will add it to Realtor.com, and you'll be charged $25 for posting the virtual tour to Realtor.com. Again, please be aware that's your option. When you click on that, it's going to bring up a screen like this that's your payment screen if you're not a showcase member. So if you want to pay that $25, if you're not a showcase, go ahead and do that. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Simply close that screen. The next one is post to Facebook. This will post the virtual tour to Facebook. It tells you that if you're a Macintosh user, please log on to Facebook first, then click on continue. If you're on a PC, a non-Macintosh computer, just simply click on continue, and it's going to bring up your Facebook. If you've never connected to Facebook through Virtual Tour Cafe, it'll first ask you to give permission, and then you'll need to click on it again. It'll take you out of it and you'll have to go back in the second time. Once you've done that, once you've established that connection, you won't ever have to do that again. It will post it to your Facebook page, and it will automatically pull in the information and the links and the picture, and you can add anything that you want to here, such as, hey, take a look at my new listing at this great property. Click on share and you will have shared that on Facebook. I'm going to cancel this and not actually share it on Facebook. And then the next one is post to Craigslist. Now, Craigslist has made some recent changes that will not allow formatted flyers, things that we've been able to do in the past. So we've created a very nice looking text listing for Craigslist that will allow you to very easily and quickly post your listing to to Craigslist under their new rules. So you can either go through what we call our My Cafe to Go. It's a one-time step in the step one time creating the My Cafe to Go widget that will allow you to drag and drop information into Craigslist. Then you'll copy your flyer ID and go into Craigslist down here on the bottom of the screen to wherever your listing is, find the location for your property, and you can very easily use our drag and drop. It's a very quick and easy way to post to Craigslist. Now, if you prefer, or if you've used this other method, on the bottom of the screen, there's what's called HTML code. If you click your mouse anywhere inside that window, it'll select all of that HTML code. You can click on copy and then go to your Craigslist and paste that HTML code into the description area of Craigslist. We won't take the time to do that here in this demonstration since we don't have enough time, but I just want to be sure that you're aware of your two options in order to post to Craigslist. You can either install the widget that puts it into your favorites or your bookmarks, and then you can drag and drop into Craigslist, or you can use the HTML code on the bottom of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and click on the close for this window. And the last option here is the video. Now notice it's a single click. All you do is click to distribute the video. When you do that, our system is going to create a video overnight and post it to YouTube, to iTunes, to AOL Video, Yahoo Video, about a dozen different video sites that will be distributed to automatically overnight. Be aware that it does take overnight to distribute that video. Tomorrow or the next morning, that switch will be turned back to off. Once it's distributed the video, the switch turns off. If you click on the video promotion option right above the distribute video, it'll take you into a screen where it will show you the title and the description and the keywords for your YouTube video. You can change the title, the description, and the keywords. Keywords are ways that people find your YouTube video on YouTube and even in Google. So you can add keywords that are pertinent to this particular property if you're familiar with that. Otherwise, just leave it alone. We automatically add the property address. We automatically add your information, the city, state, etc. for the keywords for that particular YouTube video. Now notice here where it says link and link not available. Because the system has not had the time overnight to create the video, right now there is no link. It's not been posted onto YouTube. Once it posts it onto YouTube, you'll see the YouTube link right here, and you can copy and send that link to your sellers or to your buyers list, and you can use that link. However, be aware that it will be on YouTube, and you can also find it on YouTube or go to that link and find it on YouTube from that link as well. If we made any changes here, we would simply click on the save, and it's telling us that we haven't done it correctly because we didn't add the keywords, and we can close it there. So be sure to distribute the video using the video on, and be sure to distribute the tour, the very first option. Those are the two main things that you want to do. Then if you're a showcase member, be sure to post a realtor, and I'll show you the way to currently add the virtual tour to your listing, and very soon here, hopefully within the next few days or a week at the most, we'll have that virtual tour added automatically to your listing by simply clicking on that button. Okay? So I want to take you into that last action right above this distribute menu under actions. You'll see a place where it says service links. We're going to click on service links, and in service links you'll see branded links and MLS links. The very first branded link is the one that you want to use for the tour to send this tour to your buyers, to your sellers, to anybody that you want to send the branded link to. Branded means it's going to have your agent and your brokerage information and all your contact information. That's the link you want to use. The only reason that there's a video and flyer link is if you were only creating a video or only creating a flyer, you might want to send that link to somebody. But since you're including the video and flyer in your tour, you can just use the single link on the top of the screen there. Now below that is the MLS links. You can use the standard MLS link for your particular Flex MLS. We do have some other MLSs around the country and Canada that require a strict MLS link. So simply copy by highlighting, right-clicking, and using copy, and then you can paste that link into your MLS where it asks for the virtual tour link. The email links on the bottom of the screen is to be able to email this page of links to yourself, to your administrator in the office, to your broker, anybody that you want to have all of the links to your virtual tour, but I would not suggest using this to send to buyers or prospects or your sellers. It'll be confusing to them to see all the different links. So this is really just to be able to email this page to yourself so you have quick access to the links, and or to your admin if they're going to be doing some work for you. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and close this screen. That's all there is to distributing your virtual tour and your e-flyer and your video all in about 15 minutes. Once you've created your first one or two, it'll be real simple and easy to do. Obviously, we're in a demonstration process here, and it takes us a little bit longer. So I want to also show you some other things now, and we're running close to the end of our time, so I want to be sensitive to being able to ask some have some people ask questions, and I do see that we have a few questions already asked, but I want to take you into a couple of last things. On the Actions menu, and again, I want to show you where we are. We're on the Image Sets tab. We click on an image set that we want to be working with, and then we can choose from these menu options. We just showed you the service links. We're going to go to the Other Links. Other Links is where you can download a QR code that you can put on your own flyers, your own postcards, you can put on your sign writers. And below that is the miscellaneous links where you can actually put your branded My Cafe gallery. Remember, we talked about this is where all of your virtual tours are on one URL. This is your agent URL that will show all your virtual tours in one place with your branding. Now, if you're going to put this page into your website where you already have your branding and your agent picture and your company logo at the top, you might want to use the unbranded My Cafe gallery. You can also input this inventory button into your website, or a tour widget, or an embed code, which will add all of your virtual tours as a little button in your website. So these are ways that you can integrate Virtual Tour Cafe and your virtual tour marketing into your website. You can also email this link, such as if you wanted to send all of these links to your webmaster, whoever is in control of your website. If you're not the one that manages the editing of your website, changing things in your website, you may want to send these links to that person and have them embed those codes for you. The really nice thing here on the Other Links is the QR codes on the top and the My Cafe gallery that you might want to send to your potential buyers and prospects. So I'm going to close this screen, and I'm going to take us back for a moment here to the My Cafe, the home page, and I want to open up the lines here, as we do just have a few minutes left, and I want to check and see what the questions we have and answer those as well. So we've got a couple of questions here that were in the beginning about seeing the webinar before we were sharing the screen, so I think those are answered. Let me look here. We've got a question from a photographer, and we'll contact that photographer individually. We do work with photographers in the area, so we work with photographers as independent contractors. If you have your own photographer or if you take your own pictures, you're all set. Let me look at other questions here. One person is asking, agent info doesn't work when they're clicking on it. So Caroline, we will get in touch with you individually. It may be a browser issue. We'll check that out with you. And I'm getting corrected on, it's Brevard County instead of the way I was pronouncing it. My apologies for that. When I come visit you, I'll learn more and more about your county as well. So my apologies for mispronouncing that, and I hope I spelled everything that I did correctly with Merritt Island, etc. Now, those are the only questions I'm seeing so far. If anybody has a question, you can raise your hand. Let me take a look and see if we have any other questions here. I'm not seeing other questions or hands raised at this point. So what I'd like to do at this time is just take you through a couple of last little things that are more advanced features, but I want to give you an opportunity to get your account set up, start using Virtual Tour Cafe. We're going to be adding some advanced webinars as well here, but I want to take you to the Tours tab and show you how in the Tours tab you can select your virtual tour. You can double-click or select Edit Selected Tour and go into our Tours menu where you can make a lot of additional choices to your virtual tour. Now, I'm not going to take much time as we are running out of time here, but I do want to show you just a couple of advanced features. In the Tours tab, so we're on Tours, we're editing one of the tours. If you look on the right-hand side, you'll see below the Actions menu, there's a Basic menu, and then there's an Advanced menu. Under the basic menu, this is where you can change the background music for this particular tour. If you'd like to change the music for all your tours, you do that in the settings tab. But if you want to do it just for this one tour, you can change background music right here. This is also where you can add tour narration. If you want to add your own narration to the tour, you can record directly from your computer. You can also upload a narration file. So this gives you the ability of adding tour narration to your virtual tour. And then below that, you'll see open house announcements. You can add your own open house announcements by clicking here, add the date that you want to have that open house, choose the time that you want that open house to be, and save it. You can add multiple open houses if you have open houses coming up on different days or on different weeks, and when those open houses expire, when that date expires, it'll automatically remove it from your virtual tour, and that'll show up as a little calendar icon on your virtual tour where people can see how many, when your open houses are. And you can also add your own newsletter form. Now this is where you can add, if you have a newsletter from Aweber, from OneNote, from any of these different places that allow you to create your own newsletter, you can add what's called an embed code that will allow people to opt in to your newsletter. Now I do see we have a few other questions, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look here and see if I can answer these questions while we're looking at some advanced features. And let me see. We have somebody is asking what is the cost. The cost is fabulous. It's free. As a member of the Space Coast or Brevard County, I hope I pronounced it correctly that time, MLS, the cost to you as an agent or broker is free. There is no cost. It's paid for by the association. Thank you for asking that question. And next one is, can I watch this webinar again from the beginning? Absolutely. We are recording this webinar. We will publish it and make it available to you. You should get a link for the webinar in the next day or two at the most. It does take a little time for us to get the recorded webinar all uploaded and ready for you, but we will have that available to you. Thank you for asking. Can different transitions from slide to slide be selected? Absolutely. And I'll show you how to do that right here. So when you're in this screen, if you want to change any of the transitions, notice underneath each picture there's a little green arrow, so to speak, or a greater than and a less than sign, and then 3 little dots in the center. That tells you that we're on the left image of this particular image property, or the left slide of this image. If I click on the right button, it'll take us to the next slide, which is caption settings. You can change the font, you can change the size, you can change the color of each particular image that you have simply by making these choices, and where the location is of the caption on the bottom, on the middle, or on the top of the actual image. If I click on the right arrow one more time, notice it takes me to the far right slide for this image for controlling this image. This is the image editor for each individual image, for the camera image, for the caption image, etc. So now notice the horizontal is selected here, the vertical is selected on none, and the zooming is selected here. If I want to change that, I can click on any one of these. Maybe I don't want any horizontal movement. Maybe I want no vertical movement, but I want to change it to zoom in instead of zooming out. So you make those changes here, and you click the left arrow and the left arrow to get back to the main picture. Again, that's the right arrow on the bottom, the right arrow on the bottom to make these different choices. When you're done making any choices like that, go ahead and click on the Save option. That'll save your changes that you've made. Most changes that you do in our system are saved automatically, but if you do see a save on the screen, go ahead and be sure to use that. Now, let me also show you some other advanced features here as we're just wrapping up today. I want to take you into the advanced menu. This is where you can add floor plans. If you have a floor plan as a JPEG image, you can add a floor plan to your virtual tour, and you can add what's called hotspots and links to be able to show people a panorama or a picture of where that particular, what room that is. So you can add floor plans by simply clicking on floor plans. It's going to tell you that no floor plans are found, and over on the right you can click on add floor plans. You'll upload that floor plan. It needs to be a JPEG image, and you can then link that floor plan to the different pictures and the different panoramas if you've included panoramas. Speaking of panoramas, our system fully supports panoramas. You can upload your own panoramas. If you've taken your own panoramas and you need to stitch those images together, we use a program called Microsoft Ice. It's a free program. You download it and you can stitch your panoramic images together real simply and easily. We have instructions in our advanced user guide. All of our user guides can be found under the support tab on the top of the screen. So be sure to go to the support tab. You'll find in the support tab, you'll find user guides that you can download. The advanced features is where you'll find information about the panoramas. You'll find information about YouTube videos and flyers, creating your first tour, QR codes, mobile tours, all of this, including videos, to get support here under the gold support tab on the top of the screen. So underneath the advanced menu, this is where you would add your panoramas to Virtual Tour Cafe. Now, if your image is already stitched, and what I mean by stitched is a panorama is a combination of several images that then overlap each other and create a panoramic image, either 360 degrees all the way around, or they can be a partial panorama of just a part of a room. You would find that panorama on your computer, and you would select that panorama, such as these three or these two. Just for time's sake, I'll just upload a couple of them and upload, and it will add these panoramas. Many phones and iPad tablets and Android tablets, for that matter, also have panoramic features. So if you're using a phone to take your pictures, you can use the panorama from there, save the panorama, and you'll be able to add that panorama into Virtual Tour Cafe. So it's as simple as that to add the panoramas to Virtual Tour Cafe, and you can also edit the panoramas if you need to. We won't have time for that today, but you can look through the user guide. If you do have questions, you can also call or email us. And I want to take us back to the tour images so we can finish up here today. So the advanced menu we were just in, this is where we're in the panoramas, the panorama editor once you've had panoramas added, the slideshow editor, just to show you this last feature real quickly. The slideshow editor is where you can actually edit your individual slides all in one place, meaning that you can change the horizontal, the vertical, the zooming. You can change how long the image shows on the screen, the speed of how quickly it's moving on the screen. You can then change the transition effects. Does it zoom in? The in-between slide, excuse me. The transition is how it moves from left or when it goes from one slide to another. You can see these different effects as I'm clicking on some different things here. These are different ways of having it transition from one image to another. You would want to update that when you make that change, and then it'll show you the change that you've made. Down on the bottom, you'll also see where you can change the caption, the brightness, the contrast, the lightness, where the caption is located. You can change the saturation, the color balance. And this on the bottom is where you select which image that you want to be working with. So you can choose each different image, and we have a full slideshow editor built into Virtual Tour Cafe to allow you to make changes to your individual images. This is where I was talking about that Virtual Tour Cafe gives you so many features to be able to manipulate or change or customize your tour, but it also, you don't have to learn all this. You don't have to do all these things. You can create a virtual tour very simply and easily just by using our defaults. So we really are out of time. I don't want to take you over time today, but I do want to wrap up by just mentioning a few things. One is, Virtual Tour Cafe was selected by the association as a member benefit. There is no charge to you to use the service. I really encourage you to use the service. Use it to market yourself and your properties. Virtual Tour Cafe, one of the things that we hear from our customers all the time is about how fabulous the distribution is, getting it out there to all the different locations, and how they the people that are using it really like the ease of use. It's very simple to use, yet you can also make a lot of changes if you want to. Now, to sign up, and we encourage you to do that today so that you can keep in your memory everything that you've learned here today. So right after the webinar is over, I would like to invite you and encourage you to go to your Flex MLS login, and when you are there, you'll see a products tab on the top. Go to your products page, select Virtual Tour Cafe. It'll sign you up, and then you can go in and add your agent information, your company information, create a practice virtual tour if you don't have any listings currently. Create a marketing or a community virtual tour. Use the service, learn how to use it, and it'll really add a lot of benefit to your marketing. So I want to look and see if there's any last questions, and otherwise we're going to be finished for the webinar today. I really appreciate everybody being here. And there's a question, is there a quick way to see the results of the changes you've made to the image transitions in Virtual Tour? Absolutely. The quick way is simply click on the Tours tab on the top of the screen, click on the property or the tour or the image set that you want to view, and click on View Selected Tour. If we click on that, I don't remember if I updated my changes. Hopefully I did. But if I did, it will then show you those changes here. That's the quick and easy way to see any changes that you've made to your virtual tour or to the images themselves. Now, we didn't have time to go over all the things, but when you create your first virtual tour, look at some of the things such as share, where people that are watching the virtual tour can send it to a friend. They can add it to their social media site. There's over 250 different social media sites that if you're a member of or anybody watching the tour can add it to their social media site. There's a lot of things here that we didn't have time to go over, but I do want to be sure that you're aware of where these things are, such as under the Tools menu, the Area Schools, the Walk Score, Aerial View, Map View. All of these things are here. Play around with it. I encourage you to call us, to email us, let us know how we can be of service to you. And once again, I just want to say thank you to everyone for taking the time to be here today. I really appreciate it. We are here to support you. We do have a chat live on the top of the screen. If you have a question that in the middle of the night, if we can't get the question answered for you there right away, we will get back to you very quickly. You can email us anytime. We're really here for you and want to help you be successful with your real estate marketing. Thank you so very much. You will get an email that has a link to the recorded webinar in the next day or two. And I really want to appreciate everybody being here today. Thank you so much, and make it a great day. Happy New Year's, everybody.